Hey guys, so for today's 12 days of tutorials, I did my mom's makeup and I used the Oden's Eye Merry Christmas palette. I know that this palette came out pretty recently, but in the Google form where you guys voted for the palettes, this palette by far had the most votes under the indie category, so of course I had to use it for you guys today. And whenever I post these videos of me doing my mom's makeup, I always like to preface it by saying that I am not a professional makeup artist. I am not trained on how to do other people's makeup. I really just like to do my own, and honestly I get kind of anxious doing other people's makeup. So it's not my profession, so I just like to say that before I do these videos. But if you want to see how I did her makeup using the Merry Christmas palette, go ahead and keep on watching. Alright, so let's get started. I went ahead and filled in her brows off camera just because it's not very important. I used the Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil in the Patrick Ta Brow Gel, and then I primed her eyes with the Rare Beauty Eyeshadow Primer as always. Then for my palette today, I used the Oden's Eye Merry Christmas palette. This is now my second time using it. So I started with the shade Gingerbread on a Sigma E25, and I blended that on the outer part of her crease. This shade did pull pretty orange on her, and I wanted it to be a little bit more brown, so I just kind of went with it though because I wanted to use this palette. My goal for today was just kind of do like a classic holiday Christmas party look, like a pretty glam look, you know? I wasn't really going for a natural look today, but the shade just was orangier than I wanted it to be. So after I placed that shade down, I went in with a skin tone colored eyeshadow and I blended that around the shade Gingerbread. And then I took a Sigma E57 in the shade Hot Cocoa. This shade is just so gorgeous, like a deep burgundy shade. So I packed that on the outer half of her lid. So I would lay some shadow down and then go back in with the E27 and blend around it. This was only my second time using this eyeshadow palette, but I did find that the shadows did work best when I didn't set the primer. So someone said that in my last video, so that was very helpful, thank you. Whenever I do my mom's eyeshadow, because she does kind of have that loose skin on her eyes, I always lay down the shadow and then ask her to look at me so I can see what the eyeshadow looks like when she's just looking straight forward. And that tells me if I need to place the eyeshadow any higher or blend a little bit more. So I just laid down that Hot Cocoa shade until I was happy with how it looked. And then I took this gorgeous gold shimmer in the shade Santa Star. Like, the shade was so stunning, and I tried it with a brush at first on her lid and it just was not working, so I ended up ripping off one of my press-on nails to use my finger with the shadow, and it worked so much better. So I packed that shade on the inner half of her lid for that kind of classic-y gold Christmassy look, and this shade was just stunning. And then I blended around that gold shade with my Sigma E27. And then for eyeliner, I just took a black eyeliner and I rubbed it on my hand, and I picked it up with an angled brush and I just ran that across her entire lash line. And then I went in with the black shade Happy Ending and I just pressed that along the eyeliner. And then I just took a makeup wipe and I cleaned up underneath her eyes. There was a bit of fallout with these eyeshadows. I had my mom put on her favorite mascara. I think it's the L'Oreal Telescopic, and then it was time for lashes, so I used my new style Nova from the Bright Lashes. This lash looked so pretty on her. I feel like I've talked about this lash a lot recently, but the nice thing about this lash is that it's dramatically shorter than the rest of my lashes, so they're not like too long where they're going to overpower your eyes, especially for someone who has more mature eyes, mature skin, or if you have hooded eyes or you wear glasses, you would love the length of these lashes. And so Nova is a pretty full lash, but if you want something a bit softer, I would go with Minimalist. Minimalist is the same exact length as Nova, it's just sparser, so it's just going to give you a little bit of volume, whereas Nova really fills out your lashes. So I popped on those lashes and then we moved on to the skin. I took the Saie Glowy Supergel. You guys know I've been using this on myself like all the time, so I wanted to try it on my mom. And I really liked how it looked on your skin. You can see like instantly the glow that it gives. And then I took her favorite foundation, which is the Too Faced Born This Way in the shade Vanilla, and I applied that all over her face with the Sigma F47 multitasker brush. My mom does have bangs now, so I really didn't do much on her forehead, so if you see me avoiding it, that is why. And then I took the Sigma Under Eye Correcting Duo in light medium and I applied that under her eyes. And this just kind of helps to brighten up the under eye before you apply concealer. For concealer, I use the one that she likes to use, which is the Too Faced Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer, again in vanilla. Whenever I do her makeup, I just like to use the products that she knows and loves to make it easy for her if she does want to try to recreate the look. So I really just applied a small amount of that concealer under her eyes. And then I took the RCMA No Color Powder and I just set that concealer in place. I really just use a tiny bit of powder because I don't want to make her under eyes too cakey or heavy. So just a light amount of translucent powder. And then I took the Anastasia Cream Blush in Latte and applied that for her blush. I wanted something pretty soft since the eyes were pretty colorful. So this was a nice neutral shade on her. And then for her bronzer, I used the Merit Bronzer Stick and I just applied that underneath her cheekbones, a little bit along her jawline, some on her nose. And then for highlighter, I just took a tiny bit of this one by Rare Beauty and I applied that to the top of her cheekbones. She actually texted me the next day saying that she loved how her skin looked all day, so I'm really happy about that. I love using cream products on her because I feel like they just sink into her skin so nicely. And then I just took a little bit more of that RCMA powder and kind of set the center of her face. Mostly around her nose, her upper lip, and chin area. Now with the face makeup done, I went back to the lower lash line, so I took the shade Gingerbread on that Sigma E21. And I wasn't really happy with how orange the shade was looking, so I did blend that out with the skin tone colored eyeshadow, and then I dipped into the Anastasia Rose Metals palette and tried to pick up like a kind of cool tone brown shade to kind of counteract the oranginess of that gingerbread color because the eyeshadow look was kind of turning more into like a sunset eye look, and that's not what I wanted. I really wanted it more Christmassy, but it kind of turned out a little sunsetty, you know? So I kept the lower lash line pretty simple with that gingerbread shade and that shade from the Anastasia palette. I blended those out. And then I had her pop on the Sigma lipstick in Temptation, I believe is what the shade is. I will double check that. And I feel like the lipstick looked really good on her as well. And here is the final look. So we went all out on the eyes, pretty soft on the skin, a soft lip color. And I just love how this whole look looks on her, especially these Nova lashes. So pretty.